Good morning and welcome to the channel. If you've watched some of my previous vlogs, you might have noticed that I use a flat hose to fill up good stuff with water. And that's the hose that comes supplied with the Bailey Adamo motorhome. Not the best. The problem with the flat hose is it's very easy to break. I'm now on my second one and they're around about 60 or 70 pounds. But what happens is it blisters, and then the blisters develop little pinholes and you get spurts of water coming up. I think there was a video of that happening in France on the first of the hoses that I've got. Look at that, it's a lovely sight. Oh, that's blistering.
Turn it off now?
Yeah, turn it off now. Okay, that's unusual, isn't it? And the second one has now developed a leak as well, and we've only had it for about 6 months. Not long enough, I don't think, to be able to send it back, and I think we'd have to argue how that happened. But I've given up with flat hoses. I have a normal food grade hose to use an extension, but it's a bit of a pain rolling it up, etc. So I have now bought myself one of these, which is a normal food grade type hose, but you can wind it up so it packs away quite nicely. So you can do that and then you can just wind it back up. And on this side you don't have to worry about joining it, because that goes actually into a connection and then through, so you don't have to unwind the whole thing, so you can have as little as much as you want. Now obviously if you've got a standard motorhome, that'll probably work, but on Bailey Adamos that's not going to work. We need to have the other type of connection. So I cut this off the first hose so I didn't throw it away, and that's the sort of connection we need. So I'm going to attempt to take this to bits. I know it's still got water in it, and hopefully if it looks like it's going to work, I'm going to cut the end off this one and put this connection on. So there's Phillip screws to that side and to that side. I have no idea which to undo. I'm going to try the two at the back first. Alright. Right, that makes no difference. I thought that bit was going to come off, but that's, now looking at it, no, that's not going to come off. So I don't know what I've just undone there. Oops, let's try the others. If it works, I'll leave a link in the description. Alright, something's happening. Right, I'm having to squeeze those blue bits in to remove that. Can't see the end of the hose. I'm not sure what happens next. Can I? No. Right, I'm going to cut while I get another screwdriver. here's why it might be useful watching a video rather than just trying to do it yourself, because you're going to save some time. So even though I've got some tools and various bits and pieces to try and prise this out, I was trying to get down the side, prise that out, tried pulling the two things squeezed together but not enough to get those out. So I've been prodding around for 5 minutes before I realised actually all you need to do is push it from the other end and it comes out. And we've got this part, and this has got some sort of Jubilee type clip on it, which it looks like we can prise apart carefully. I'm taking my fingers off. Whether I'll be able to reuse that, I'm not quite sure. So I've now got the sort of Jubilee clip that's come off, and I've got that. So I'm just hoping we'll be able to get that onto there. That's the quandary. That does look very narrow. So we might need boiling water. Let's just get off that. It's got water in it to rinse it out as it was new. Right, I'm going to cut here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and put some hot water over this bit to loosen that up. I'll come back in a sec. So boiling hot water made that bit come off really easily. I'm going to slip that on there. See now, as it's still quite warm, we can squeeze that in there. Well, it's getting on there. I'm going to have to go back and put a bit more hot water on it. So with the boiling hot water and a bit of brute force, I've managed to get it on. I did resort to using a thick-nosed pliers just to help push that, to grip the hose and push it on. Because of course, careful of the boiling water, and it was slippy and too malleable here, but it's now pushed on far enough that this collar will come up onto the solid plastic bit underneath. So it's whether I can reuse this is the next question. Right, of course I've made the rookie error. That's not going to work anyway because I can't hook it over, but I've just noticed it needed to go in there anyway, so that's going to have to come off and go in there. Budget DIY again. And I'm going to need a kettle worth, well, it certainly works because that's now solid, so I'm going to have to go and get another kettle, take that off, put it through here. Well, at least that is solid and I don't need the Jubilee clip, I think. Be back again. Right, so I've now got it back on with this bit in the right place, and we're going to try and risk it without a Jubilee clip on here. If that fails and I need a Jubilee clip and I do that, I'll put it in the description that that's happened. So read the description before you do this, because I'll let you know if that does come off. But I think it should be okay. So that's just going to go back in there. And then we've got the two screws that go in that side. Right, so that's now fixed in. That feels nice and solid. Just make sure you don't lose, there's a black washer there that is loose and can drop out, so just make sure you've got the black washer. Not sure if this is some sort of filter or regulator. I'm tempted with the speed of these things, maybe to try taking that out, but not yet. Let's see. maybe if you've done something similar, then you can let me know. And how did you get on? Did you take that filter? Is it a filter, or is it designed to regulate the pressure? I think I've heard that somewhere, to regulate the pressure, but the Adamo feels so slowly through this. Might be worth experimenting taking it out. I've now got two of these because I've got two flat hoses that have failed. So I might try a version, maybe on a different hose, without that. But there we go. Now for a field test. So that bit just unclips. Another little tip, when that goes in, you can see that's pushed in as far as it can, but there's still a gap down the side. If you snap that bit off the top, which I'm about to do now, it'll go flush. So you can see, just taking that bit off, actually use a pair of pliers just to bend it backwards and forwards. Now goes in flush and the water will feel much better. Need to get a new tap. It's an interesting noise. It's now going around the motorhome. Plenty of hose on there. And that, you can see that's fine, there's no leaks. And you can hear it's filling quite fast. Have a look in the water tank. Now if you compare that with the bit before having snapped the plastic off, you can see if it makes any difference. But to me that's filling so much faster. And contrary to what it says on here, you do not need the pump on when you're filling. The only reason, the master must be on. Obviously you can see the master isn't on and it's filling. The only reason you need that on is to get the number to stay on. But because there's hardly anything in there at the moment, because I emptied it, it's not reading very much. So you can put it on and then switch the pump off if you like until it's filled up, otherwise the pump will whir around. You can see that number's going up anyway. And again, all those people that said how slowly it filled, it could be that bit of plastic. Now the only thing to say, that's because I switched the pump off. Let's do that. Switch. So the only thing to say at the moment is the motorhome is on a slope. Like everywhere I put my motorhome at home is on a slope. We don't have a flat, but you can still tell that's filling pretty fast compared with how it will feel normally. Now I'm not taking responsibility if you snap that bit of plastic off and it doesn't work. I'm just saying that's what I've done and that seems to work for me. And I've done it on the flat hose as well. Didn't use that bit of plastic, it was just in the way. But that bit's up to you. Hopefully that might help. If you want to get rid of the flat hose, and a lot of people have, then I'm sure you can learn from my mistakes and do it a lot better. Just a little bit of real time. And if you've got any other suggestions, particularly about the Jubilee clip, I'd be interested to hear on that. So if you could write them in the comments of the YouTube, and then I can respond to them from there, because that'll notify me. I would like to put a Jubilee clip on it, but a normal one is going to have the bit where you screw, and that's going to be
sticking out into the casing. So I thought about a cable tie. I think that's not going to work either, so we'll just see how long it works like it is. If it does come off as I'm using it, I will write that in the description as a by the way it came off sort of thing. So pack away. Oh, sorry, forgot I had that bit there, just to clip it on the side. And obviously, well, clipping it, well, I suppose it will go nicely just in the end. Of course, the beauty of this is often, if you're like me, you get to the service point and you only need about 1 metre or 2 metres of hose. You don't need that long flat hose. You don't need 20 metres or even 10 metres. I'm not sure exactly how long that is, but it's certainly long enough to reach all the way round to the other side of the motorhome. Just say I'm not sponsored for this. I'm not associated with the product at all. It's just something, when I did a search, I came up with. It is called the Aquafil Pro, and it's 11.6 meters, as it shows on there, and it says suitable for camping, caravanning, motorhomes, boats, etc. Now, what was interesting on the back, it's a compact hose ideal for filling water tanks or washing the vehicle, but also very useful for watering plants and flowers during your stay on the campsite, like we all do that. Having said that, I did water the tulips when we came back from Holland a few weeks ago, but I think watering them with this might be a bit of an overkill, so I just like that a little bit for watering the plants and flowers on your campsite. Okay, hopefully you found that useful. We're about to go away for 2 weeks, so it's going to go through its paces and we'll see how we get on with that. Okay, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe.